we are on rebelscum.com Facebook page.
There we are.
Yeah. That is us. We'll wait for some people to hop on. For anybody who's wondering, I'm Heather and this is Joshua.
As opposed to...
I don't know.
Is there any comments on there yet?
Not yet. I'm making sure my volume's off. Yours is on.
Mine is on. Rookies. A couple people watching.
So, what we're going to be doing right now, as soon as we start getting people on here, is
just Patrick's watching.
nice answering
That's
some
not the right
questions.
For an iPad?
It needs
This is the newer
the
generation.
C.
Oh, it's a C?
Yes.
Apple finally joined the rest of the world?
Apple joined the rest of the world. That's right.
About time.
Okay, guys. So this is our first rebelscum.com live video. If you guys know us, Heather and I own Order 66 Toys. We're based out of Dallas, Texas. What's up, Mr. Crockett?
Ah,
Turn it down.
Josh?
Joshua?
where is he?
Excelsior.
Why is it not? We're having technological differences.
I can see the comments on here though.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, John. We got 26 viewers on here, but yeah, we're going to be answering your questions live.
There you go. So, as soon as anybody has any questions about the future of rebelscum.com or any questions about us, type them out, put them in the comments. This is how we do it, guys. So, Order 66 Toys, our other business. See you later. We try our hardest to be as approachable and as available to our clientele as possible. So, the best way to do that for us is Facebook Live. And we figured since we haven't done a Facebook Live yet, let's go ahead and knock this one out. It's been on the page for a little while. We're trying to reactivate the rebelscum.com Facebook page because the algorithm monster on Facebook likes to see regular content. So we're trying as hard as we can to get that page back up and running. Some people might not see this until way later, whereas our other page, people see it instantly because we post multiple times a day. So, GT Morgan. So who's got a question for us? What questions have you heard so far?
So I've kind of been starting to moderate the forums because the main thing is we don't want to jump into something that you guys have been using for decades and change everything. That's not our goal. That's not what we want to do. So I've been sort of joining the forums, seeing what you guys are doing, seeing what minor improvements that we could make, which we're not looking to change the forums at all.
So that's a very important point. Not everybody, some outspoken people seem to be a little concerned about there being some kind of change, and that's not what's going to happen.
Right.
Everything that you know and love about rebelscum.com is staying the same. The only thing that's different is we're going to be adding to it. We're going to be presenting the website and everybody. What new things are you hoping to bring to your forum? So we'll get to that in just a second, man. The only stuff that we're adding is new content, YouTube channel, social media, and just bringing the website up to date. Jamie.
Our
Little help
5-year-old
here.
is running around.
Benjamin.
What, Jamie?
Right underneath the camera. Okay, come here. Say hi. You want to be on camera. Stand up. So you're going to go right. Okay. Say hi to everybody.
This is Jamie. She's
Say hi.
our youngest of 3.
We have 3 daughters. We've been married for 16
Rob.
years. Go play. You gotta stay out of the camera. Okay. So we're gonna get Jamie. You cannot be over here right now. What new things are you hoping to bring to the forum? The only stuff that we're bringing to the forum, the only change that there's going to be on the forum is we're looking at doing some kind of discussion thread for our daily news posts. Other than that, the forums are staying exactly how they are.
Right. I just had a couple questions. Like as soon as I jumped on and I made a thread on there, I had a couple questions. One was if we could make sort of a female-centric thread where, because we have like locations and areas of interest. We had a couple people looking to make like specific groups of people.
I don't want to. Sorry, go ahead.
But yes, we can do that. And the other question that I got was just to clarify some of the rules, because we don't, like I said, we don't want to come in and change a whole bunch of stuff. So we don't want to, force a whole set of new rules on the forums and start, deleting and banning stuff. But there are a little gray areas of the rules that need to be clarified, and that was another question that I got.
The reason for that, the reason that some of the rules need to be clarified, it's not stuff that we are doing. Mm-hmm. Just to be 100% straightforward, Philip Wise is very much still part of the team and doing some hand-holding during this transition. So nothing is changing without his, I don't want to say consent, but nothing is changing without running it past him and getting his opinion on it.
He's giving us advice on everything that we do.
So as far as the forums, which seems to be everybody's major concern, cyberbullying needs to be defined and there needs to be a conversation about that as to what is
what constitutes cyberbullying, because I did speak to Chris Wyman. Sorry, Philip Wise, Chris Wyman. He is the one who has kind of been.
I knew as soon as we went live, the girls were going to start acting up.
I can get your mom. Who has been monitoring the forums and working with everybody on there, and he told me you guys pretty much have
it was an issue.
It covered.
It was an issue that needed to be addressed long before. All right, you're gonna have to take care of that.
Be right back.
This is what happens when it's a family-owned business and it's during summer. This is what happens. Anyways, so enough about the forums for a minute. There was a couple other questions. Is there a plan to boost content in other areas such as books, comics, and television? 100%. If there is something for us to cover, we will be covering it. And that brings me to a very important point that needed to be made during this video. We've had a couple of people complain about what does this have to do with collecting. Some of our videos talking about the timelines of a story or certain characters, for one reason or another haven't got action figures or whatever. A major part of what we do with our other business is education for new collectors. And we feel as though that's something that could have been targeted and defined and focused on a little bit more with rebelscum.com. So some of these videos that you'll see either myself or Bobby or Liam or anybody on the team do, that it's like, well, what does that have to do with the hobby? Well, the answer is it's bringing new eyes to the hobby through all the other stuff that we do. We're casting a larger net. We're bringing new collectors in, and we've been doing this for 12 years, guys. So it might seem like the long way around, but it is a slow education process, And I know that rebelscum.com was a huge, huge site, but we are presenting it to a lot of new audiences. Like, they never focused on the female demographic of collectors that are growing at a crazy rate every year. That's something that needs to be focused on. We need to be focusing on other types of collecting besides just action figures, like gaming collecting, like tabletop miniatures, or any of the other facets of collecting. But we have to do this at a slow kind of tedious pace, because we have to focus on the action figures as well. Mm-hmm. So it's the whole point of it is to grow the community and bring in new people that might not know that a resource like this is out there, because we see new collectors that come into our stores every single day, and they're like, well, how do I find out about this? How do I do this? Well, we've always, the 12 years we've been in business, we have always sent customers to rebelscum.com. And now we are rebelscum.com, and a lot of people, there's a lot of information that people want out there.
Yeah. So
as far as back to the original question, Patrick, is there a plan to boost content in other areas such as books, comics, and television? 100%. And I am, there is a literary news covering guy that is with the company, but I haven't heard from him since we've taken over the company. So I don't know what's going on with that, but we will be covering it for sure.
It is in the plan. We're moving forward.
Keep in mind, this has only been a month.
Yeah.
We've been the owner.
Take time.
We've been the owner for 1 month and 3 days. So there's a lot of handoff that has to be done. Let me find some of these other questions.
But those other forms outside of figures does exist in its own
Kid drama, no proud. You might be a little biased there, Mom. It's Heather. Ellen is Heather's mother.
So if you look at
mandatory Thrawn appreciation groups.
Yeah, if you look at Mike's comment, yes, Mike, in the forums it does. I think I had to step off for a while, but I think Josh was talking about, as far as the content goes, we're putting in new content, not just for people who have been part of the site and part of collecting for the past 25 years, but also people who are just coming on, who might need a refresher or maybe an education at all in collecting, or the storylines, or what have you, and that's the type of content that we're going to be putting out, not necessarily in the forums, but definitely as far as articles and videos go.
So a major part of what we've always done is how can I say this? It has become very evident to me over the last 12 years of being in business as Order 66 Toys that there is no such thing as being done collecting Star Wars. Either you collected loose figures and now you want them carded, or you want to grow into a different facet of collecting, or there's a different series that you want to collect. There's no such thing as being done. Yeah. So some of that weird content that we're doing, like the Shadows of the Empire stuff,
right?
That was a very, very short-lived line, and I know most people that are watching this video know all about Shadows of the Empire. But some people, even if one person watches those videos and says, "Oh my goodness, I had no idea who Dash Rendar was. I had no idea who Prince Zizor is."
Yeah.
That is the point. The point is not only to continue to focus on
yes, I agree.
Continue to focus on the collecting aspect, but also to bring new collectors, or to have collectors be educated about something they didn't know that they were interested in. So, how many characters are out there that they had one figure one time, and they're like some stupid, hard to find piece. So another
Yeah.
part of education is we cannot stand scalpers. It is like the worst plague that the collecting community has ever had. A couple years ago, Disney approached us and Beckett Magazine approached us to write the first official price guide. It didn't go the way that I wanted it to go. So part of rebelscum.com, part of a large goal for next year is we're going to be maintaining a current price guide for the top selling lines like Black Series and Vintage Collection and maybe even Lego if the interest is there. So adding content would be more
Right.
usage maybe.
Yes. And we also got the question.
Well, the other thing, Mike, is we got to keep in consideration this is a business, and for being honest, some of the revenue streams that used to be there, they're no longer there
on the site.
So we're looking at YouTube content and social media stuff, and we've already been approached after the handoff. We've already been approached by a lot of companies that are saying, hey, we want to sponsor some videos. We want to give your viewers XYZ. You know, it's all going to come full circle. It's just going to take some time.
Right.
Which brings me to another point. These ads that are on there, that are on the site currently, are killing me. I can't stand them. I don't understand why there's ads that have nothing to do with collecting on there. That being said, that is a long, tedious process to get advertisers and sponsors hooked up on the site. Like, we're talking to Loot Crate. We're talking to, well, I'm not going to, the deals aren't done. So there's several nerd-centric, collector-centric companies that are out there that have a shared demographic with the website that you guys as viewers and as watchers and contributors to the site would probably enjoy to get. It's always, the site is always going to be Star Wars only. But, you know, if Super 7 has an ad that they want to put on there, well, a lot of people collect Star Wars and Super 7. So, I mean, I'd much rather there be a Super 7 or Loot Crate ad than a Victoria's Secret ad.
Or a T-Mobile ad.
Or a T-Mobile ad, you know.
And yes, we are trying to get them more like that, Mike. There's like ads that are constantly changing, and then there are ones that like sit there. So it just kind of depends what's up on your screen at the moment. So we're glad that you're seeing those ones.
That's a major focus for me on my end is the business side of things. And I promise that the ads that are up there will be easier to deal with and more targeted at something that you might be actually interested in looking into instead of just an ad for the sake of an ad. Any plan for collector Q&A, things like what you look for when you buy collections, preferred method of storing or displaying, preservation, cleaning, etc. That's definitely a great idea, Patrick.
Yeah.
It's not something that we've gotten to yet because before the site was even purchased, I have 30 pages of notes of things that I feel as though haven't been focused on enough. The stuff that could be added, you know, back to the whole ad thing. Why is Ian's display not on that?
Mm.
Why is
there's a lot of
there's tons of stuff. Told myself I'd only collect 6-inch, and here I am with every Shock T and new VC pre-ordered.
Yep.
Trust me, Brandon, we know all about that.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be interesting to know exactly what your 6-inch collection is worth without having to look up each one individually? So that's a major, I keep saying major, but there's a lot of work.
Major.
There's a lot of work that has to be done. And before the site was handed over, my pitch was I want to launch by the end of next year a handheld on your phone app that could keep your entire collection listed. It would be where you can go want or owned. How many of these do I own? How do I want this? Do I want this box? Do I want this sealed? Do I want this loose? What condition?
That'll take a while to make, but
that's a huge programming nightmare. But it is something
it
is something the community needs. So that's something that we're going to do. It's just going to take a lot of time, and that will of course be linked to the price guide. So you can go into the tab where your collection is and see, okay, here's the exact value of my collection currently. And then you can track it up or down, It's almost they got me on O3 Clone Wars too. I swore to myself off Disney era, I still collect other stuff. I understand that. Jim, I met with the 501st this last weekend at Retro Expo, and we will definitely be putting a 501st tab in the
that'd be awesome.
in the forums. So any questions, anything that you need to know about the 501st, the forums are where you can ask. We're tied to collecting like Big Bad, Ultra Sabers, etc.
Yeah, I kind of answered that one.
Not currently. They're not. Ads are targeted based on the viewers, recent searches, and shopping. Yeah, so the company that runs it is called Ad Valley, and they also work with Google Analytics and Google Ads. So the ads that you're seeing are going to be very much based on how much time you spend on the site. So it's like a learning algorithm. So let's say you go to Ultra Sabers all the time. Well, now Ultra Sabers is going to show up as an ad. It doesn't really do anything extra for us on the business side of things. So I want everybody to be seeing those ads. Yeah, sharing the Amazon account with the wife dramatically changed my ad experience.
Yeah. Yep. Got into this during the pandemic. Very new to the game. Yeah. Yeah, you kind of got to figure out, where you want to collect, what you want to collect. But hopefully we can help with that.
Patrick, me too, big guy. Deeply, technologically illiterate.
That's why you have me. We don't watch anything.
Listen, I'm smart enough to hire people that know stuff that I don't know. That's it. I so want something to catalog my stuff. Great idea.
Thank you.
The other, along with that idea, is the site, unfortunately, is not mobile friendly. So that's something that has to be fixed.
Jim, I see your comment. I know I'm in a group that's like kit builders. If you wanna look at, there's tons of resources.
First, let's see.
I would say first thing is look up your local 501st chapter, who that is. Like here, it's the Star Garrison. But yeah, find out who your local chapter is and get in contact with one of them. They can probably tell you exactly where you need to look on Facebook or the internet or
the
wherever.
501st also have forums on their page about it as well.
I'm trying to find the group that I'm in.
You might have to be invited to it too.
Special
Me and Josh bear pawing at the keyboard.
patch collecting. No, there's a very specific name for the group. I'll have to find that for you. Just collect what I think looks cool. Your live sales allow that big time. See, that's part of what I'm saying, Lyle. There has to be an education process because there's so much out there now to collect that unless it is presented to you, most people don't know. Now, that being said, there is like the highest level of collecting where people have been collecting since the 70s or since modern began in 1995, and they know what's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, unfortunately, and I hate to say it, but if the collecting, if the toy companies, if Hasbro relied on just them, we would not have Star Wars toys. That's how it is. So the way that Disney has always acted is, well, not even just Disney, Lucasfilm as well, is Star Wars is the highway. And there has to be on-ramps for every generation. There has to be on-ramps there has to be an education process. Like if you ask my staff members at Order 66 Toys, what is your favorite Star Wars? What is your favorite piece of Star Wars? What do you identify with the most? What resonates most with you? The younger guys are always going to say the prequels. And
it's kind of just what they grew up with.
It's whatever you grew up with. And,
maybe some of the time. Every once in a while, I like episode 4.
Yeah, the special edition.
Probably.
I knew she wasn't going to be. Jamie, our youngest, is a little ham, and she loves to be on camera. So no matter what we're doing, for filming something, she finds a reason to be over by us. You guys should do more stories from the road. The video from that Virginia collection still blows my mind, all those graded Luke toys. So, speaking of which, we're going to be reaching out to noted experts. So, the Virginia collection, that gentleman is the national, probably the worldwide expert on Jedi Master Luke vintage. There is nothing. As we're sitting there, he pulled out a bag of loose figures and he literally closes his eyes and he's like, all right, this one's from Taiwan. That one's from Hong Kong. And every one of them was right because he knows the stitching. He knows the texture of the cape. He knows all of the different saber variants and which one goes with what figure. It's ridiculous. So what we have to do is we have to be, as part of that education process, even the highest levels of collecting, a lot of people don't know, okay, well, this saber doesn't go with that Jedi Luke. It goes with this Jedi Luke with this other stitch because you can only get it from this factory during this date, blah, blah, blah. As much as I love the original trilogy, I remember being a kid and finding the X-Wing books in my local library. Right. I hate to say it out loud, but the Young Jedi Knights, young adult novels, I read every one of those. And I still don't understand why we don't have a low Baka action figure somewhere. What other questions have you got from the...
I don't know what he's talking about. It's okay. If it's not for you, move on.
So that's something that we have to clarify and kind of hammer down on, unfortunately, is if you don't have something positive to add to the community, either don't say something. Like, there's no reason to just be spiteful or hateful or rude in any fashion. There's no reason for it. Star Wars is something that every person that's watching this right now loves. And that's what our focus is on. Yeah. This is something that... This is somebody walking up to the door. This is something that is all about love for us. It's all about respect. And it's all about being family friendly. So if you don't have something that adds to that type of content, just don't add anything.
I think it's the difference.
Or just don't watch.
I think it's the difference between input and output. You know, like you can input your opinion and actually have a conversation about something, or you can just output your exclamation about something that probably didn't need to be said.
Yeah. We don't need it. And honestly, we're not going to tolerate it. So there's been some people making not family-friendly comments, not on this video, but on some of the other stuff that we've done. Like somebody was saying on one of the video reviews, somebody commented, "Man, this guy is so annoying," about Bobby. Yeah, he can be annoying, but guess what? I guarantee you, if you met that kid in person, you would love him. And he would love you just because we're all Star Wars fans.
And, you know,
So
not everybody is for everybody, but
there's
he knows
no
his
reason
stuff.
to comment something stupid like that.
Yeah.
None whatsoever. So he's been removed.
Yeah.
And no, you guys, anybody that knows us from Order 66 knows we don't play these games. This is, there needs to be, back to the educational part of stuff.
Thank you, Matt.
When you are bringing a lot of new collectors in, a lot of those collectors are going to be younglings. And the site and any of the content that we do, I need to be able to allow my kids, and you need to be able to allow your kids to get on the site and read and interact and not have to worry about somebody being rude or saying and doing something that is not appreciated by their family. So, what's going on? I can attest, poor Bobby, he's insanely knowledgeable.
He is.
Do you have a timeline or roadmap with dates when you plan to have these things completed, or is it just a journey? Curtis, I know there's a lot of cleanup that needs to be done between now and the end of the year, and we're marking the beginning of next year for new projects. So we're just trying to get everything under control, get all of our affiliations, like with Hasbro. Unfortunately, that affiliation fell off back in 2018, and we're back in good graces and everything with them as of today, as a matter of fact. So Philip did everything that he could to keep the site on track, but he is an extremely busy man.
Yeah.
And
he is.
But he
still makes time for us. So that's
right. Well, that was Heather telling me not to go down that rabbit hole. Just so you know. There's some cleanup that has to be done. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. Poor Bobby is insanely knowledgeable. Bobby rules. I can attest. Bobby is a gem. Bobby is awesome. He worships Jar Jar. That's true. Bobby is an encyclopedia. He's Bobbypedia. I left a bunch of groups because they were full of Star Wars bashing instead of Star Wars love. That's what's up. Kelly B is on here.
Did you already talk about this question? Because I think that's important.
Any plans to incorporate Order 66 or Rebel Scum? Matt Devins, they are staying 100% separate. And the reason why is because with us working with so many different partners and sponsors for the site, I can never allow there to be a conflict of interest. That being said, we will be putting up an Order 66 ad on the site that just says, hey, if you're trying to get in contact with us, if you're looking to sell your collection, this is how you get in contact with us. And that's it.
I did get a couple concerned parties.
And then sharing content, that's it.
In the forums who may not have the same love for Order 66 that they do of Rebel Scum, and I totally get that. That's your prerogative. We don't tolerate any bashing in the forums, so there was a little bit of correction that needed to be made there. But like Josh said, we are keeping them separate, so if that is a concern of yours,
it's 100% separate. Okay, so let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's get 100% honest. Okay? Order 66 toys. I can feel Heather staring a hole in me right now.
Yes.
Order 66 toys has not always been on the right page with myself and my father. We my father has his company. I have Order 66. I call it Order 66 Prime. He has Order 66 Toys Expanded Universe now. What was that, 2016? Some very major mistakes were made, and we allowed a franchise to be bought. Immediately, that franchise went not good. There is a much longer story there. If you're interested in it, that's a story for another time. But unfortunately, for a little while, the name Order 66 Toys was dragged through the dirt, and some people were taking advantage of down in Houston. I did everything that I could possibly do to keep that from happening, but unfortunately, I was not able to be down there as often as I wanted, or not as often as I wanted, because I didn't want to be down there at all. But as often as
you just had a newborn.
Yeah. I was not able to be down there as often as was required to keep them on the right track. And yes, that store definitely sold fake autographs. We no longer sell autographs at Order 66 Toys at all, unless you get to watch the person sign autographs on the Friday Night Live show.
I'm not an expert in that at all, so anything we would direct you to somebody who has more knowledge about that than we do, because we don't deal with that.
Another issue was we had a employee that is no longer with the company, and there is authorities looking for him right now, that decided to start stealing authentic pieces of vintage toys and send out reproductions. So we would show in a live show something that was authentic, and then when it got to where it was ready to be sent out, whatever got sent out was not what we showed. So she's giving me the nudge. She doesn't want me talking about this. That's been corrected as well.
Yeah.
So Order 66 Prime does not sell vintage toys. We sell stuff from 95 up to current, and
we tend to focus on what we know,
right.
And that's why in Rebel Scum we are going to fully depend on experts in the different areas that we're going to be covering. And like somebody said, Bobby is kind of an expert in everything in the toy lines.
He knows he's not. The toy lines, yes. The storylines, yes, but not vintage and not autographs.
Right. So we'll have people who can help us in those areas and get those areas of the site to where they need to be to continue having people looking at them and appreciating them.
So back to the point about the experts. Our friend in Virginia, noted expert. We have another friend of ours that's the noted expert on Darth Vader in the world. Those are the people that we will be bringing onto the team to contribute about that stuff.
Is Willie T still on here? If we ever need photos of any R2s, then we can go to him.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, guys, we've been doing this for a long time, and we know a lot of people, and we know when we are not the experts about something. If you ask me about a modern toy, I can tell you whatever you want to know about it. You ask Bobby, he can tell you whatever you want to know about it. He can tell you what color lightsaber Kruk has on what page of what comic book. The kid is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So,
or you could show him one little modern accessory,
and I'd be like, "Oh, that came from the
exactly
2006 Republic Commando."
And Matt, yes, you are right. That is the group that I would direct people to. They have a whole post about, is it fake? Is it real?
Right. And
they're
unfortunately, they're not huge fans of ours. But I still want you guys to go look at them because they are the experts. Now,
and they do cool stuff.
They don't have the full story about why. This is why I'm being blunt with you guys, because not everything has been 100% the whole time. There has been mistakes made, and I'm 100% willing to live up to that. apologize for it. There's been some mistakes made. But what aggravates me is when people don't have the whole story and they like to pass judgment without having the whole story.
But that's part of the reason why we're making the important distinction between Order 66 and Rebel Scum, because Rebel Scum is not going to
none of those mistakes
crossover.
will be made, and we've learned all of our lessons.
Yeah. So does anybody have any more questions? I'm trying to go to the forums to see a couple of the questions. Oh, somebody asked about the forums eBay links. Like eBay links are allowed, but he doesn't know or eBay links are not allowed, but he doesn't know if like stores can post their links.
So that's a gray area right now because we are an affiliate with eBay. So we, as in rebelscum.com. So I'm going to have to dig into that and see exactly what the ruling is from eBay. That's not something that I thought that I'd have to...
Historically in the past, we have probably not allowed eBay links because,
it's not a sales site.
Right.
Oh, so that brings me to another point. I really need everybody's, I don't want to say attention, support with the site, and to bring everything that we're talking about. There is a large overhead. So like doing the app so far, we've priced out at about $75,000. That's not counting the man hours. That's not counting anything else. That's the actual building of the site. So to continue our goal of making rebelscum.com the complete toolbox for the Star Wars collector, we're going to have to start bringing some other revenue streams, like we will be selling merch very soon. If you guys know anything about Order 66 toys, you know that we have a great art department. This is one of our t-shirts. This came out July.
4th of July.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's one of our 4th of July shirts. So we got an awesome art department. We will start showing off some of the t-shirt, hat, pin designs, all that good stuff.
And we're going to be expanding our art department for Rebel Scum, so you'll get to see some new designs, new stuff.
So if you're an artist, I know some of y'all that are watching right now we are ready to start looking at portfolios, and we're ready to start bringing some new people on the team with Kirk, who is the head of the art department. And we are looking for new designs. We're looking for all kinds of really cool stuff. We will be continuing our figure pin line that we've been doing at Order 66. That is now going to become a Rebel Scum type thing. Those Trooper shirts are prime. Hoping you guys put out a new Vader or Kenobi shirt soon. I got to tell you something, my guy, Matt. The first Rebel Scum shirt is my favorite Darth Vader shirt I've ever seen.
Yes. We did some tests of some different shirts yesterday, and I am excited.
Yeah, we had some tests printed. Man, I wish my bag was here. Oh, Joan.
I was supposed to bring his bag.
She was supposed to bring my bag from the house. Do what?
Do you not have the JPEG for it?
No.
I don't know if we should show it. But, yeah. And just to go back to the forums.
Don't play, Rylan.
What's he saying?
Getting this portfolio ready.
Oh, do it.
We'll probably add an art section in the forums as well.
If there isn't one already, I gotta look. But
those forums go back 27 years.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why we don't want to touch them. There are conversations from
there's
decades
threads
ago.
on there that are still going from decades ago.
There's people's photos that would be like if we deleted Instagram or something. Like there's so much that would be lost. We could never do that. The only thing that we're looking to do is
history.
Add stuff there, because like I said in one of the emails that I got from a woman said that, and we talked for a little bit. She was telling me how maybe in the past, possibly females have felt
Excluded.
not welcome to post there, maybe. And I think with the clarification of rules, sort of the elimination of some cyberbullying, stuff to make people feel comfortable, then we'll be able to include groups of people that may have felt left out or unwelcome in the past. And that's something that we're really looking at doing. And we have gotten a little bit of pushback, maybe from collectors that have been collecting.
Robert's out. He said the bantress lives.
Oh, thank you. I do. People
She
have been
does
collecting.
live. I've
I
seen
do. Breathing homeostasis right now. So people who have been collecting for a while, they're not really maybe interested in.
What is it that you're trying to say right now?
In relearning what they already know from what we've been posting and what we've been talking about, and we've gotten a little bit of pushback on that. But like I said, we're trying to include new people who have been felt left out.
There won't be a learning curve for the stuff that we're doing. It is just going to be additions and growth of the legacy of the site that Philip has run for the community. One of the things that we're going to be doing is a lot of convention walkthroughs where if you don't know if a convention is worth your time, I got to tell you, we just went to Retro Expo in North Texas. That was an awesome convention. We're going to MegaCon in 2 weeks in Orlando. Hopefully we get to interview some people while we're there. Mm-hmm. So that brings me to another point is, along with us being very approachable, you guys can contact us anytime you want.
Yeah.
Joshua at rebelscum.com, Heather at rebelscum.com.
I'll put that in the comments.
We need to hear from you guys, but we are also trying to break down that wall where your favorite Star Wars celebrity might be a little unreachable. And you don't, how awesome would it be if we could get an interview with Giancarlo Esposito, Moff Gideon himself,
Could happen soon.
Yeah.
Well, I think not everyone's able to go to conventions.
And not everybody is able to go to conventions, but you might be interested to see what a convention is like. So you might be able to plan for one in the future. I mean, we'll definitely be at Celebration. A lot of people have never made it to Celebration.
Thank you, Larry. I'm glad to hear that.
Lauren Spatz.
Yeah, Lauren Spatz. And not really.
Just a reminder, Terrificon is... Don't tell me that. Don't say that. I'll be there.
Josh is totally...
Patrick, send me information about that. I'm dead serious. It's good meeting you guys last weekend at Retro Expo. It was great meeting you, Lyle. Come for the con, stay for the gambling, and Michael Jordan Steakhouse. Yeah. I'll pass on the steakhouse. Okay, so this is exactly something that we need to know. Why is there not a convention update constantly in the forums?
I gotta look.
Because they just named 3 that I've never heard of.
Yeah, Mary.
Stuff for Canadians to get to any convention. I'd love to see one live.
Oh, Mary, did you see it got all the way canceled?
Yeah, Mary, the whole convention got canceled, and I'm not going to go into too much depth about it, but apparently that was expected. And I'll leave you guys to speculate.
Figure out the rest.
Figure out the rest on your own. But let's just say it's not the first time that it's been
I think
canceled.
last time it was canceled because of COVID.
Right, but there's a lot more to it.
But you could still go to Six Flags.
Yeah, if you have passes, they're honoring the passes at Six Flags. Anything else? What time is it?
We've been on for a while.
So we got, like I said, guys, if you have any interest in tabletop gaming, that's something that we're going to be focusing on some, because there is collecting aspect with that, like with Legion or Star Wars X-Wing.
Of which he plays both.
And
Tactics.
that's why I said, what time is it? Because here in about 10 minutes, we're going to have people showing up. Tonight is X-Wing night at the Allen location. I think, man, we could sit here and talk with you guys all day. We really could. You guys know that. We love you. We want there to be positivity and love about the franchise that we all love. That's why we're here. And just to sum everything up, I want you guys to know I am a longtime user of the website, and I am very concerned about the legacy of the site. So the stuff that you know and love will not be changing.
Right.
But there will be some additional tools for collectors, and there will be educational content for new collectors.
If you need it. You might not, in which case...
If you don't need it, don't
scroll on.
watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, but I will tell you guys, just in closing, this is about positivity, because coming out of, not that we're done with COVID, because we're definitely not, but everybody needs some positivity in their life, and that was one of the main reasons we decided to buy the site. So it's time to share the love that we all have for it, and let's use rebelscum.com, specifically the forums, to do so.
And if you guys are watching the replay of this, you didn't get to watch live for whatever reason, and you do have a question, just go ahead and comment it. I will, get a notification to my phone, and I'll be able to answer you through a comment.
Or you can just email us. If you have a longer comment, just email us at joshua@rebelscum.com or heather@rebelscum.com.
And I did put those in the comments as well.
They are in the comments. And guys, we legitimately love everybody in this community. So we're trying to bring everything back together.
That's about it.
You got anything else? All right, guys.
We'll see you later.
We'll try to do these once a month.